I'm Christina Aguayo in Dallas, and here are your top stories. Jeffrey Epstein was being counseled and tipped off by the New York Times while he was coaching Democrat members of Congress during a hearing on President Trump. Documents unsealed from Epstein's estate exposed his involvement in a congressional hearing that was held to undermine President Trump, with text showing that he coached a Democrat lawmaker on her line of questioning. The revelations are part of the more than 20,000 pages of emails and messages released by the House Oversight Committee and center on a February 27, 2019 session where Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen, testified about alleged racism, financial fraud, and hush money schemes tied to the president. At the time, Democrats controlled the House and were laser focused on investigating Trump, using Cohen's appearance to beef up claims of misconduct. The documents show that Delegate Stacey Plaskett, a Democrat from the Virgin Islands, was the representative receiving Epstein's real-time text during the hearing. Timestamps line up with video footage of the hearing showing Epstein feeding her details on Trump's inner circle just as she prepared to grill Cohen. And as Epstein was coaching Democrats on how to take down Trump, the documents reveal that the New York Times was coaching Epstein on how to do the same thing. Epstein's communications with prominent people at the Gray Lady included tips on how to avoid being noticed and gave strategic advice on leveraging dirt against Trump. The author, Michael Wolff, who made millions on his book attacking Trump, told Epstein how to, quote, drip feed certain info to the media without getting blowback, and advised him on how to use his access to Trump as leverage. A New York Times finance reporter, James B. Stewart, tipped Epstein off about an ex-NYPD detective turned investigative author who was digging into Epstein's past. In a 2018 email, Stewart told Epstein that the detective was, quote, researching a book on him and was questioning Epstein's island escapades and high-profile guest. Epstein thanked him and said he was looking for more details on the threat. This heads up allowed Epstein to create a preemptive defense, protecting his web of influential pals, many of whom were Democrats. The Proud Boys and their supporters arrived en masse this weekend at the ICE facility in Portland, reclaiming the front driveway from ongoing Antifa-led riots. This is the first major appearance for the Proud Boys in several years. When the Proud Boys arrived to the Antifa-controlled area, a tense, high-energy standoff took place, but Antifa lost, and the conservative crowd could be heard chanting F Antifa and USA while lining the sides of the driveway, making sure there was a clear path for agents to drive through. Here are some of the details of the night. The group opened up by reciting the Pledge of Allegiance and waving American flags. They quickly occupied the prime protest space, facing off against Antifa demonstrators across a barricaded line. The crowd erupted in repeated calls of USA, USA, and F Antifa. As federal officers left the building, the chants intensified, creating a charged atmosphere that highlighted the divide between pro-enforcement conservatives and anti-ICE agitators. Well, if you want to save more than $1,000 a year on Medicare, listen up, because costs are set to go up next year and you only have until December to choose the right plan. If you don't make changes, you will be paying more for your deductible and premiums, and some Medicare Advantage plans are disappearing altogether. It can be confusing with so many different plans and options, but I got a quick and easy solution for you. Chapter. I've partnered with Chapter because I believe in what they are doing. They want to help, and they'll do it for free. Just call the number on your screen or go to askchapter.org/Christina. It'll take 20 minutes and they'll do all the work. Give them a call. It'll be well worth your time. Chapter. Edward Snowden is warning that China's social credit system that monitors every person's every move has already started in the United States. Snowden says that algorithmic control is materializing very quickly in the U.S., pointing to an investigation that revealed China's aggressive expansion of AI-driven city brains, saying the markings of digital control are well underway in the Western world. City brains are large networks that monitor a citizen's every move, every purchase, every word, every action, and are now serving as a prototype that the U.S. is quietly preparing for. Snowden, whose 2013 leaks exposed global mass surveillance, points to the digital IDs and predictive policing that have already started in the U.S., calling them the first steps in taking away personal freedoms by tracking people under an unblinking digital eye. Snowden says the governments and tech giants are currently harvesting personal data to dictate our actions, using artificial intelligence to fuse camera feeds, transaction records, and behavioral data into a single omnipresent overseer. The data will be used to force compliance, he said.
If any of these family photos, if any of your activities online, if your purchases, if your associations, if your friends are in any way different from what the government or the powers that be of the moment would like them to be, you're no longer able to purchase train tickets. You're no longer able to board an airplane. You may not be able to get a passport. You may not be eligible for a job. You might not be able to work for the government. All of these things are increasingly being created and programmed and decided by algorithms.
Here's what's being tracked in China and coming to the U.S. AI maps home addresses and visitor patterns via facial recognition on more than 600 million cameras, flagging undesirable contacts. Sensors in trash bins and public spaces score how well you dispose of your trash. Jaywalking or littering triggers an instant score drop. Every footstep in urban areas is logged through geofencing and gait analysis, rewarding rural followers with perks while docking scores for people who don't act as told. Purchases, messages, and online activity feed into algorithms that predict and preempt untrustworthy actions as outlined in the People's Republic's 2025 AR surveillance blueprint. A single violation captured by overlapping cameras can slash a person's score, taking away opportunities overnight. As Snowden put it, no system of mass surveillance has existed that has not been abused. An algorithm will decide your fate. The European Union's wallet system rolled out this year mandates biometric-linked profiles for services. U.S. cities like Los Angeles already deploy predictive tools that flag high-risk neighborhoods based on data patterns, while the UK's 2025 counter-terror framework uses AI to preempt disruptive behavior. The Global Risks Report 2025 highlights laws like Australia's Code of Practice on Disinformation, where platforms are required to algorithmically demote harmful content, silencing dissent under trust metrics. That's what you need to know. In Dallas, Christina Aguayo.